with Mobile Super Unleaded Plus.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
Join me for Goal to Go, the post-game show immediately following today's Bills game.
Week 1, the Bills met the Dolphins at Joe Robbie Stadium, and late in the fourth quarter, Dan Marino made a mistake.
Big rush. And a big interception. Nate Odoms. And he goes down at the midfield.
Down by 4 points with less than 2 minutes to play, quarterback Jim Kelly put together a drive that was called one of the greatest comebacks in the Bills' 30-year history.
Kelly steps up. He's got Andre
With no time left, Kelly went into his pocket and came out with a miracle.
He's going to run it. Touchdown, Buffalo. They win on the last play of the ball game.
Coach Don Shula called the loss one of the most disappointing of his career. Today is the rematch, but one ingredient is missing. Jim Kelly, he's out with an injury. In his place, Frank Reich, who has 2 wins in as many starts. But looming in the Bills' way is the offense of Dan Marino looking for revenge.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills.
Great weather in western New York, clear and sunny, temperature in the 70s. Somewhat of an upset, and it favors the Dolphins, at least at the outset. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Crickey. The Buffalo Bills have defeated the Miami Dolphins the last 5 times they've played, including a heartbreaking loss for Miami in the opening game of the season. The Dolphins haven't forgotten that. Freddie Banks, one of their receivers, is quoted in the morning paper here in Buffalo today as saying, "We're not only going to win, we're going to win big." I'm joined by the former Bill and Viking All-Pro Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad, this is what it's all about. Got first place on the line.
This is a game that, and having been around these players, you don't have to talk to these guys much. This sort of vindicates all at training camp for a chance to play for first place, and they all realize it. You don't have to go in as a coach and try to tell these guys this is the big game. They know that the winner of this game is in first place. The loser has to sort of reset.
One of the things Buffalo's done well against the Dolphins is run the ball. Miami's got some veteran linebackers called the Graybeards, keyed around the veteran Hugh Green. That'll be looking to stop the run.
There's nothing better than having experienced linebackers and having experienced defense, because if you make a mistake on defense, it ends up in a touchdown. On offense, you make a mistake, you got 3 more plays. So to have these Graybeards around led by Hugh Green, they say he's playing as well as he played when he was an All-Pro, and that's bad news for Buffalo.
Big story today, the absence of Jim Kelly. Frank Reich is starting at quarterback, but he's done well the last 2 games.
He certainly has, and the key to Frank Reich, he doesn't throw any interceptions. He's not a guy that's going to kill your offense by turning the ball over, so he's comfortable now playing at quarterback.
And can the Bills get to Dan Marino? Nobody sacked him in 19 games, but Buffalo has one of the best in Bruce Smith.
Well, I saw Dan and Bruce Smith talking before the game. They're sitting down on the sideline. As I walked by, I said, "Dan, I bet you hope that this is as close Bruce comes to you all day." And they both smile. Bruce a smile saying, "Wait a minute, I think I'm going to get a little bit closer as the game goes."
The Dolphins have won the toss, and they'll receive to start the game. There's Coach Don Shula, called that opening loss at Joe Robbie Stadium one of the most disappointing of his career, when Kelly scored on the final play of the game. Into the ball to Scott Norwood. And this is Willard Reeves, a new acquisition this week because of the injuries to Dolphin runners, and Reeves takes it across the 20, and he gets it to about the 24-yard line, where Dan Marino leads the Miami Dolphins offense out. Roy Foster playing very well at left guard again this year. They take care of Marino. 766 pass attempts with no sacks. Sammy Smith starts as a runner, the rookie from Florida State. When they go to a passing formation, Jensen comes in as next receiver. Fred Banks and Andre Brown will come in. So the Dolphins, who beat the Bills 20 straight times during the 1970s, have now lost 5 straight to Buffalo. The Dolphin win today gets them a share of first. End off, and the Bills shut down the run. The veteran Fred Smerlas is there quickly to get Sammy Smith. Smerlas, an 11-year veteran from Boston College, still playing some very good football for Buffalo. He's one of the focal points of their defense, a fiery player. Art Still, Fred Smerlas, and Bruce Smith across the defensive front. Cornelius Bennett is a first-team All-Pro player at the outside linebacker position. The dime defense brings these extra people in. John Hagee has just been activated, a big-time hitter from the University of Texas. There was virtually no gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Again, the Dolphins try to run, and this time they get some yards on a quick trap up the middle. Smith drives the ball out across the 25-yard line and out close to the 28.
With the injury to Troy Stratford, this is actually Sammy Smith coming out party. I think one of the things you're going to see today, the Dolphins like to bring in number 11, Jim Jensen, put him in the backfield on a passing situation. But I think today they may try a new wrinkle, and that is putting Mark Clayton in the backfield and letting him get one-on-one with the linebacker. As you can see, he's lined up now as a setback in the backfield. That puts a lot of pressure on the defensive linebacker.
Yeah, it does. Linebacker has to cover Clayton coming out of the backfield as Marino looks to throw. Markers are down, and he went to Clayton. It's incomplete at the 35-yard line. But a marker's down. Buffalo gets a ferocious rush. This time, apparently, Ahmad, they miss a line, and they're going to be called for a 5-yard penalty, but the Bills will refuse that and take a punt.
Once again, you see Mark Clayton to the right of your screen, just coming out of that backfield, trying to get one-on-one and on that extra defensive back. He's coming over the middle. False start. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Well, they had to take the penalty because it was before the snap of the ball, so it's an automatic penalty. So 3rd down comes up again. This time it'll be 3rd down and about 9.
It's going to be awful tough to try to stop Mark Clayton coming out of that backfield. He's awful quick. And anytime you get a 5th defensive back in or a linebacker, there's an overmatch there. That's the one that Marino's going to be trying to find.
Bright sunny day, cloudless skies. They say the temperature on the field's up around 80. Here's Marino, quick out, going downfield. Look at that ball, a perfect strike and a 1st down. As he gets the ball downfield for a 1st down to Andre Brown, a first-year player from the University of Miami. 21-yard gain, Ahmad.
1st down, Miami. This, you know, when the thing about Miami's offense is that 3rd and long means nothing to them. They are so comfortable in that situation with a quarterback like Marino. Here you see him just hit Banks coming across the middle, and Banks doing a fine job of running the ball afterwards. When you get a lot of pressure on you, when you put Miami in a 3rd and long, then the pressure is certainly on your entire defense. That was Andre Brown on the catch.
Now Marino looks again. There's the quick fire downfield, and he gets Jensen out of the backfield as the Dolphins cross midfield on a 1st down throw. The gain is down to the 47-yard line. Radisek came up and made the hit. Very quick timing passes by Marino.
Bruce Smith certainly fired up for this game. He wants to be the guy that sacks Marino for the 1st time. There's a lot of, you know, they respect each other. I thought it was kind of neat to watch these two guys talking to each other before the game, and they're asking about their families. You know, a lot of back and forth, but I guarantee you they both know that Bruce is intent on getting to Dan today.
Bruce Smith had 3 sacks last week in the rout of the Jets here at Rich Stadium. Pitch back on 2nd down and 4, and the Dolphins get some room to run, and that is the rookie, Sammy Smith, going hard, and he looks to have a Miami 1st down close to the 41-yard line of the Bills as the strong safety for Buffalo, 46, Leonard Smith, made the hit.
Sammy Smith showing that he's ready to turn that ball at the field and start running hard. Here, a lot of good blocking in front. Sammy Smith turns the ball up into the line and powers over Leonard Smith for the 1st down.
Marino off to a rare start. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns through the first 7 games. 10 TDs, 13 intercepts.
They said the interception, the only one that really bothered him was the one he threw last game against Buffalo.
And that was a costly one that led to the final drive as Davenport runs the ball and is knocked down by Art Still. 2-yard gain on 1st down.
Just a little power dive by Davenport. And just a little power tackle by Art Steele, number 72. One of these rare players that seems to be getting better with age.
Art Still, the 2nd player picked in the entire draft by Kansas City. after Earl Campbell was taken by Houston in the 1978 draft. Still playing well at left end. Dolphins moving the ball on their opening possession. There's no score. Handoff, and Davenport breaks it and gets inside the 30. So the Dolphins are now using a lot of different blocking schemes to attack this very formidable Buffalo front, and they're moving the ball, running it.
The Miami Dolphins have run the ball very well the last couple of weeks. That was a 10-yard gain by Davenport. And this is a very nice cut back up into the middle. Most backs will try to keep that ball outside and can't get any yardage. What Davenport does is start going north and south right away. And if Miami can continue to run the ball well, that puts so much pressure on Marv Levy's defense.
Dolphins have a 3-game win streak going. They started off 1-3, but now they're 4-3. If they win 4 in a row, it'll be the first time in 4 years they've done that. Cutting back is Smith, and he makes his way down to the 25-yard line on a first down carry. Sammy Smith is ahead for a gain of 3 yards to bring up 2nd and 7. Cornerback Kirby Jackson made the tackle for the Bills.
No one knew how well Sammy Smith was going to do. When we talked to Don Shula yesterday, he just said, hey, I don't know. He gets his chance today. And so far, he is making the best of his chance. A very nice cut. Cuts back against the grain and then cuts the ball back upfield. Very nice moves by Sammy Smith.
2nd down and 7 coming up. No score. Smith caught by Bruce Smith. Sammy Smith caught by Bruce Smith. As the Brew call goes out, there's number 78, the consensus all-pro pass rusher. In this morning's Buffalo News, they had a whole compendium of quotes from Dolphins talking about this game and what it meant and how they were going to beat Buffalo. And Bruce Smith is one person who openly says, I get motivated by what I read in the newspaper.
Well, it takes different things for different people.
Right. Whatever's fair. 3rd down and 9 now for Miami as Dan Marino checks his alignment and sets in the gun. Bills with a deep zone defense, and here is a throw and a drop ball at the 23-yard line. Bring up 4th down, and they send out Stoyanovich. It'll be a long kick. Red Banks was the intended receiver. That's the guy who said we're not going to just beat him, we're going to beat him big.
Well, they're not going to beat him with plays like that. Banks, I'm telling you, had he caught that ball, there was a lot of running room in front of him. In order for the Dolphins to be successful, you got to catch balls like that. He laid that ball right in his hands. And Marino, being a field leader out there, he'll let Banks know that, hey, man, in order for us to do anything, you got to catch the ball. I did my part.
45-yard field goal coming up by Stoyanovich. He is only 1 for 4 outside the 40. He's 10 for 10 inside the 40. Hits the ball very well, and he drives it up and through, and the Dolphins are on the board. So the Miami Dolphins take the opening kickoff, move it down the field with a varied offense, and Stoyanovich puts up the first points of the game.
For a nice cold bud?
And where does she come from?
Now Chevrolet offers cash back on even more new Chevy trucks. Up to $1,250 cash back or 6.9% financing on most new Chevy trucks. Pickups, vans, Suburbans, Chevy Blazers. Now, Chevrolet offers cash back on even more new Chevy trucks, which means now is the best time to see your Chevy dealer. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the kid.
And it shows.
A look at the board. Phoenix has gone up on Dallas. Pittsburgh has a 3-0 lead on Kansas City. No other scores to report as yet as the 1 o'clock games are underway. The Bills ready to get their first possession now as Miami took it down on a very impressive drive. 11-play drive culminating with Stoyanovich's longest field goal, 45 yards.
And the thing that Miami wanted to do in this game was establish the run. And I think they did that very well. A lot of people thought that they're going to really miss Troy Stratford. And they do, but the guys they got in there, Sammy Smith.
Davenport will be in there with him. He's been in a lot. Miami does well when they start off first on the board, Ahmad.
They certainly do. This year, anytime they've scored first, they've been 3-0. I don't think that's going to count in this game, though. I expect the Bills to come right back.
Yeah, Bills can really run the ball. Here's a kickoff, and this is the fastest Bill, Don Beebe, running it back across the 20. He's a rookie. Beebe breaks it and gets out across the 35-yard line, but there's a penalty marker down. As Bills and Dolphins start up after the tackle is made, Hobley and Drain were pushing each other.
They tell us that Don Beebe runs a 4.2940, which is almost a blur. I've never seen anybody run that fast, and I played with some pretty good speed merchants.
He said the Jets had him in 4.22 and the Bills had him in 4.29. Either one is acceptable, if legit.
Holding, number 54 on the run back. First down.
Carlton Bailey with a holding call on the run back, so it comes way back now.
And Beebe with just a crack there. There's you see that 4.29 speed where he makes it right through the crack there, and he's off to the races a little bit. You know, when you run 4.29, the collisions are a little bit harder, a lot faster.
I tell you, the high speed collisions. Couldn't even see Bailey on the picture on that side. I don't know if his illegal block influenced the play, but it brings the ball back. So the Bills go from scrimmage for the first time. First down and 10 at their 24-yard line. Dolphins in the lead 3-0. Thurman Thomas, he's good. Across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. This is a tremendous back from Oklahoma State in his second year. Leads the AFC in total yards. Barry Krause comes up to make the tackle. Bills have great size at their tackles, both 300-pounders in Wolford and Howard Ballard. Frank Wright making his third straight start at quarterback. Beat the Rams with a comeback. Was excellent against the Jets. Passing downs, Ronnie Harmon, who made a one-hand touchdown catch last week against the Jets, comes in. Andre Reed, though, 83 is the guy to watch. Top receiver this year in the AFC, 48 catches. Hand off to Thomas. He turns the corner and moves the ball and gets a first down on a 2nd and 2 play. The single biggest overmatch in this game is Buffalo's ability to run the ball and Miami's inability to stop the run. The Dolphins are allowing 4.6 yards per rush by the opponent. Langford and Judson, the veteran cornerbacks. Williams and Oliver, the newcomers at safety. Oliver, a rookie, second year. Defensive line, T.J. Turner's not here. He's injured. Line will come out on the dime defense of the Dolphins. They send in all new people, virtually all. Miami's defense is grades low overall, but they've made a lot of big plays to win games when it counted. They're 13th in the AFC in defense. Handoff, and again they go to Thurman Thomas. This time Miami fills better and stops the run after a gain of about 3 yards to the 41-yard line.
I think the key that you said, Don, is they've been able to make big plays. A lot of times those statistics will fool you. The key to playing winning defense is to come up with big plays. You can let them run all over the field, but if you can make the play at the right time, I'm telling you, that's what makes a good defense, not the stats.
Yeah, Marv Levy, the coach of the Bills, was telling us yesterday how it breaks down to the individual down. He said the biggest thing the Bills have going for them defensively, they allow only 2.7 to the rush on first down. All right, hands off, right back to the money, Thurman Thomas. With those change of pace moves, he comes in, takes some hard pops from Miami Dolphins. E.J. Jr. was there to stick him, along with the nose tackle Brian Sauché, 70. E.J. Jr., 54. A B-plan player from the Phoenix Cardinals. Total yards from scrimmage. See Thomas with 881. Leading James Brooks and Christian Okoye. He's run it 4 times already today and is getting some nice yards him out.
4 times to 21 yards. And what he does is he follows his blocking so well. As you watch him run, he picks his holes and he hugs his blockers. And then he has that acceleration that he can explode once he finds a crack.
That's his great strength, his ability to wait on his blockers, then make that burst. From the shotgun on 3rd and a long 3, swing pass. It's caught by Thurman Thomas, and he has a first down to the Miami 48-yard line. Thomas comes out of the backfield. Reich leads him. Thomas bobbled it, but got the handle before going out of bounds. Oliver was covering.
When I talked to the Miami defense, I asked them, what do they worry about Andre Reed? They said Thurman Thomas is the guy. Within a 3rd and long situation, like to hit him in the flat and let him run with it. But right there, you see Louis Oliver is right on top of him. And a fine play by Thurman Thomas. He stops him from running over that bench. But I guarantee you, if he gets a shot at him in the middle of that field, he told me, he said, you know, somebody's got to go down.
They're big-time hitters, Jarvis Williams and Louis Oliver.
They call themselves the B-52 Bombers.
The Bombers from the University of Florida. End up to Larry Kinnebrew, the power back, who had a tremendous game against the Jets. He ran the ball 17 times for 77 yards. He's a free agent player the Bills signed. He was a very good player for 3 years at Cincinnati. Tailed off. They caught him. He was working construction last year. Dolphins are protesting. Barry Krause thought he stole the ball. Instead, the Bills got a gain of 7 yards on 1st down. 2nd down and 3 at the Dolphin 41-yard line.
Well, the thing that Kinnebrew can do is once he hits a hole and he gets in behind those offensive linemen, you got a guy that weighs 260 pounds pushing along with his offensive linemen, and they just take the pile and move it back.
Last week we had him at 270. He corrected that at practice, so. Harmon comes in and runs on 2nd down, and the Dolphins come in a pack and throw back Ronnie Harmon. William Judson, 49, led the tacklers. He wanted you to be sure yesterday about you knew his weight, right?
Hey, sir, he asked me to have my notepad. He said, well, take it out and write this down. I'm 260 pounds. And I wrote it down.
At Cincinnati, he played it as high as 282. And the great stat about him that people don't believe, but it's true, in a high school track meet in Georgia, he beat Herschel Walker.
He did, and he said the time was 9.6. He also said Bob Trumpy got him cut from Cincinnati because Trumpy kept talking about his weight on his talk show.
Really? Well, he's back and playing well. Now it's 3rd down and very short. Bills go to the shotgun, hand off to Thurman Thomas. Punters in front. He connects and gets the 1st down and more. As the Bills run the ball into the Dolphin defense inside the 30-yard line down to the 28.
Just intelligent running, Don. We talked about it, how he likes to hug that blocker, and then he has that explosion to take off once he sees the gap. That's exactly what he did there. He was right on the hip of that blocker. That was a 13-yard gain, but watch Thurman Thomas. He's right on the hip of his blocker. Now, all of a sudden, he sees a crack, and he explodes right through 2 guys. And that's when he's really dangerous. He sees the hole so well.
He's accounted for over a half-mile in offense from scrimmage in the first 7 games of the season.
35% of the Bills' offense.
He's the deep back now as the Bills send a tight end in motion. On 1st down, they give up the middle, and Kinnebrew, taking on tacklers, drives the Dolphin defense back and takes the ball close to the 22-yard line. Big game at Cleveland where the Oilers have gone in front of the Browns 7-0 in the 1st quarter. Patriots lead the Colts. If the Colts should win today and if Miami should win, there'd be a 3-way tie for 1st in the AFC East. Cincinnati's slumping, having lost 2 straight at home. New Orleans, a team to watch, coming on. Second and 4. Here is Thurman Thomas cutting back. Getting inside the 20. There was nothing there, but he made something out of it. Hugh Green got him, number 55, as the Bills go to Thurman Thomas time and again, only throwing conservative short passes when needed.
What great runners do, watch Thurman Thomas stretch the defense. He takes the pitch, and now watch him go wide. He's stretching the defense. They're trying to keep him from going around the end. As soon as they get outside, he cuts right back up in the inside of him and gets some yardage. Most backs, that's a run for no gain. But with Thurman Thomas, he's able to stretch him, cut back inside, and get some yards.
The Bills, a very well-balanced team. They're only one of 3 teams in the NFL that grades out in the league as in the top 10 on offense and defense. And Buffalo gets a 1st down. Miami's on the board on a 45-yard field goal by Stoyanovich on the opening drive. 1st quarter moving along quickly, 2:49 to play in it.
We talk about this Bills offense with Jim Kelly in there. You know, Kelly drives this car a little bit differently. He drives it at full throttle, and then Frank Reich comes out. He's an awful good driver, too, but he uses everybody around him, and that's his plus. Kelly there on the sideline just licking his chops. He wanted to play this week.
He looked ready yesterday. He really looks in good shape, but they don't want to jeopardize bringing him back a week early. Doesn't bother the Dolphins. Here's a handoff to Kennebrew, and he drives down inside the 10-yard line. When he wants to go, there's nothing quite like Larry Kennebrew from Tennessee State. A pile driver. A runaway truck, just taking on tacklers and moving the whole pile.
And I think some of those Miami Dolphins think he weighs 270 also. Like I thought. You just watch Kennebrew. This is big power running right here. Kennebrew takes this ball, gets inside his blockers, and now he's just bouncing off of people and powering forward. That's his third carry for 22 yards.
So the Bills drive on now. Second down and less than 2 coming up. Dolphins lead at 3-0 late in the first quarter. Hand off to Kennebrew, and he falls down to the 5-yard line. But he has a first down for the Bills. It'll be first and goal, and now the Dolphins will be attacking the football, trying to free it up.
I talked to Kennebrew before the game this morning. You know, he gets here to the stadium about 10 o'clock in the morning. He said, I leave from the hotel and come straight to the stadium because I don't like to go home. I said, why? He said, because I go home, my wife makes me take the garbage out. I said, I like to keep my mind on the game.
Well, that's a good place to be then, the locker room.
That's right.
Never can go wrong there. There's Tom Olivadotti, defensive coach of the Dolphins. Hand off to Thurman Thomas. Nothing there. Now he cuts back and gets a couple. On a first and goal play from the 6-yard line, he gets it down to about the 3. Time and again, Thurman Thomas makes something happen. If there's a crack, he shoots into it. Barry Krause, a 240-pounder, a 11-year veteran from Alabama. Again on the stop, number 58, as Thurman banged his right hand.
Looked like he may have got, a lot of times you'll get a shot on your forearm on that muscle there, and it causes a cramp in your hand. Looked like he might have taken a shot there, but Thurman reminds me a lot of Walter Payton, maybe a little bit faster, though.
Second down and goal. Power set for the Bills. 3 tight ends in the game. They go to Kennebrew, and he bangs down to the goal line, but the Dolphins keep him out for the moment. It'll bring up third down and goal from about the 1. Over 80,000 jamming Rich Stadium. Bills selling out game after game. 16 straight sellouts of 80,000, and they're up and cheering now as the first quarter winds down and out with the Dolphins in the lead 3-0, but the Bills challenging.
You think you're better than me, don't you?
Oh, not again. I was better than you in high school. I was better than you in college. And I am better than you now.
There are still some people in this world who can change tax brackets without changing personalities.
You want to put that to a test?
Let's go.
Now?
Now.
For those people, there's a car called the Legend Coupe from Acura. #1 in customer satisfaction 3 years in a row.
Heineken.
Amstel Light.
This
so
is
much
it.
better than other
it's a
light
great
beers.
imported beer.
A delicious European
Nothing compares
taste.
to the
A
smoothness,
refreshing,
the richness,
satisfying,
or the character
distinctive
of a
flavor
Heineken.
that cuts through
Its
your
quality
thirst.
comes through.
There's a uniqueness to it.
Heineken is America's #1 selling imported beer. Amstel Light is America's #1 selling imported light beer. Why? Just ask the people who drink them.
In my opinion, Amstel Light is the best beer there is. I could go on and on.
I can't say enough about it.
It's a light
no
beer
matter how
that
many
quenches
beers.
your thirst.
Morning, folks. This is Captain Neely. Appears we've got the friendly skies all to ourselves.
While most people are just getting up, one airline is off to over 200 business centers across the U.S. United.
Thanks for flying the friendly skies.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
They're cheering the first place Bills big time in Buffalo. Don Criqui with him out of shot. Rashad, it looks like at the outset of Maley might have a track meet. Lasted bad.
Well, I told you before this game that you don't have to tell these guys this is a game for first place. They came out, everybody's going 100 miles an hour. And the thing about it is nobody's throwing the ball too much. Miami comes out running the ball very well. And Buffalo, shoot, this is their 15th play coming up. They've already thrown 1 pass.
They're right down by the goal line of the Buffalo Bills looking to go ahead. Dolphins took the lead on a 45-yard Pete Stoyanovich field goal. John Offerdahl, who's been in, getting more playing time now, working back into form. Goal line defense for the Miami Dolphins. Third down and goal from a yard away. And here's Kennebrew, and he's in, standing up. Touchdown, Buffalo. The Bills take the lead 6-3.
I said that maybe it wouldn't count in this game, and Buffalo proved me right. They came right back down the field, and they put up 6. Looking for 7 here.
Bills very impressive offensively on that drive. Driving it down the field. Straight ahead power runs by Killebrew. Darting runs by Thurman Thomas. And now the extra point by Norwood's up and good. And with just 2 seconds gone in the second quarter, the Bills have taken the lead, 7-3.
Power running. Killebrew just powers through. He's tough to stop anywhere. He gets that stuff going. Boy, he can't be stopped.
Looking for something phantom? Or should I say, Susie?
Why?
Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cupper. Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
I tell my dad I'm buying a new car, and he'd say, fluffer and fluckotash, get a sensible car. Get a comfortable car. Dog, get a gorgeous car. Get a reasonably priced car. Do I did! A Cutlass Sierra. Great when you buy it, drive it, trade it. What more can a family want?
That's all, folks.
Now get up to a $1,600 cash bonus on a 1990 Cutlass Sierra. See your Olds dealer today.
Whenever I used to watch TV, my brother Tom would always flip me out. Then we got this Magnavox smart window TV that lets Tommy flip through all the channels. And I could keep watching what I want to. Now I can see what I've been missing. And that's quite a lot.
A fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest. Makes up the unique belt of Road Handler Treadlock radials. Great low prices, Road Handler tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
We're going to get a block down right here. Jamie Mueller is going to come through here and take on John Opperdahl, and then the big back is going to power it straight through there. This is an excellent, this is the way they draw him up. Nice block by Jamie Mueller on Opperdahl, and a great run by the big fella, Larry Killebrew, who says, I don't take the garbage out Sunday mornings, I score touchdowns.
He takes the leather into that end zone. 15th play of the drive. They went 76 yards, had the ball for almost 8.5 minutes. And now the Bills are set to kick off for the second time they did to open the game. Again, Willard Reeves and Perry Good are back deep for Miami. High spinning kick, and this is Willard Reeves from the 11. And he's tripped up. Chris Hale, the smallest player on the Bills team, a rookie defensive back from Southern California, number 26, makes the tackle. Now to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, in that Houston-Cleveland matchup in Cleveland, the Oilers take the ball, opening drive, keep it for 14 plays in almost 9 minutes, then cap it when Warren Moon goes 13 yards to Haywood Jeffries, who tumbles backwards into the end zone to give Houston a 7-0 lead late in the first quarter now at Cleveland. Back to Don and Ahmad.
Thank you, Bob, and we're set to go first and 10 Miami at the Dolphin 24-yard line. Second back through is Sammy Smith, and he takes a stick from All-Pro Cornelius Bennett. And then the Bills come en masse. Knock him down. You see the score that Bob just alluded to. The Houston Oilers going up on Cleveland. Trudeau hit Risen for a touchdown. The Colts now lead New England. Testaverde's thrown for TD, and Boomer Esiason followed for the Bengals with one. 2 field goals, and Phoenix has a 6-0 lead at Dallas. Detroit now in front of the Packers 7-3. Here in Western New York, Orchard Park, Grit Stadium, the Bills lead the Dolphins 7-3. Both teams scoring on their opening possession. And he let it off with a field goal. Buffalo came back. Touchdown. Throw in the flat. Crash Jensen gets the ball and is swept under by Scott Radisson. Gain of only about 2 yards. It looked like more than that. The ball was thrown to the flank, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 7. Ronnie Harmon, an ace pass catcher for the Bills, out of their backfield on 3rd downs with a contusion of the shoulder being attended to.
There's a spot right on the top of that shoulder. If you get popped on it, it's almost like a hip pointer in your shoulder. Just right on the edge of it, and that's probably where he got popped.
Sounds like you've had those.
I've had one or two of those. I used to wear those Boys Club pads.
3rd down and 6. Long 6. Here's the rush. Marino gets it away and throws a perfect strike out to the 38-yard line to Mark Duper. Coming off the flank on a slant. Very interesting. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, talking about how Marino really is looking right at the area he's going to go to. If he drops back, straight back, he's going to throw left like he does here. And you'll watch him if he drops back with his facing right, cross-stepping, then he's going to throw to the right. It was remarkable how many times it turned out that way watching Miami Dolphin offensive films with the defensive coordinator of the Bills, Walt Corey, the big man with his arms folded.
I know Walt Corey also realized the last play before that he looked left and threw it right to Jim Jensen. So it's one of those things that you like to know, but you don't want to count on it.
Bruce Smith stops the run. Never mind, Glenn Blackwood, who played for the Dolphins for so long, said the one distinguishing thing about Marino, after you play against him time and time again, is you never know where the ball's going.
That's exactly. He threw the two passes before that. He was leaning to the left and just fired it out to the right. But talking about firing out, watch Bruce Smith right here get rid of the blocker and just stuff Sammy Smith. Bruce Smith, I think that's what makes Bruce such a great player. He plays the run as well as the pass. He is just a dominating player on the defensive line.
Smith is playing with a tender ankle. It had him out of the lineup for a while. He does not like artificial turf. Here's a downfield throw intercepted by Cornelius Bennett. He's back to the 43-yard line. So tremendous pressure put on Marino by Bruce Smith, and sometimes the sack is far less valuable than a hurry that makes the quarterback throw the ball errantly, as Marino did there right to Cornelius Bennett. So Marino throws his 14th interception of the season, and the Bills take it over.
Announcing a new generation of owner satisfaction. We're so sure you'll love your new Oldsmobile. We'll let you return it within 30 days or 1,500 miles if you don't. Who else does that? Unlike some warranties, Oldsmobiles covers just one part. This is the part. Oldsmobile now offers roadside assistance around the clock, even in places where there aren't any clocks. The Oldsmobile Edge, there's nothing else like it.
I like hanging around, getting down, walking the dog, doing the town. I like everything I got right here. Rainbows and cold Coors beer. It takes a part of this country as cold and clean as the Rockies to brew a beer as pure and natural as Coors. Brew refresh, just like you like it. Tap it ice cold Coors with a friend of yours. A Rocky Mountain legend, an American original.
Individuals performing together, listening, arranging, building. At Northwest, our performance is helping you do business, getting you wherever you need to go on time, creating new ways to make things work for you. Because our job is helping you do yours.
Smith lining up right over here, right in front of the center, Jeff Ulenek, who's a rookie. And a lot of times, Don just mentioned, it's not so important that you sack the quarterback, is that you make the quarterback hurry his throw. Bruce Smith, splitting the two guys, gets his hand up, makes Marino throw the ball a little high to Sammy Smith, and look who gets it, Mr. Bennett.
Biscuit Bennett, Cornelius Bennett.
And they were lucky to tackle him down because he's an excellent runner after the throw.
He is. He's as fast as most of the defensive backs, Bennett. So the Bills, leading 7-3, get their second possession now at the 42-yard line of Miami. Back to the power game, and Kennebrew, both arms on the ball. He has had fumble problems in his career. Thunders inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line. E.J. Jr., 54, got him for the Dolphins.
A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I tell you, these Buffalo backs, they are so excellent at finding the hole and getting up the field. There are so many backs that once they get in the open like that, they go east and west. And that's the easiest way for a defensive guy to make the tackle. Once you turn that ball up the field, you put all the pressure on the guy to make the tackle.
There's Frank Reich now with a conservative offense, but a powerful one. Back to the run. This is Thurman Thomas dipping inside now. Look at these moves by Thurman Thomas. Two people finally get him as he's down to the 32-yard line.
I think we have a holding call. Anytime you see that flag being thrown in the middle of the pile, you get that old holding thing.
Referee today is Johnny Greer.
Holding. 67 offense. Still second down.
Kent Hull on the holding call.
Pro Bowl center Kent Hull called for the hold.
But Thurman Thomas, we talked about him finding a spot. Watch him pick his hole here. He goes up to the middle of the line, then breaks it outside, then accelerates, and he's still into some dance steps down the field. He's not done. You got to really wrap him up to make sure you can tackle him because he has more moves.
He's got everyone there is.
He is a fast Walter Payton.
And he breaks tackles. 5'10", 195. Right. Goes up the middle and makes the connection to a tight end, Keith McKellar. A very fast tight end, and he's got a first down for the Bills. They're very close to one. Now let's go back to Bob Costas and NFL Live.
15 yards.
All right, Don, down 3-0 to the Patriots. First quarter at the Hoosier Dome. Here comes Jack Trudeau for the Colts. A perfect throw. Andre Rison takes it in stride, his first NFL touchdown. And watch the maneuver now with Clarence Verdun, his teammate. A little Verdance. Very nice. 7-3 Colts.
Verdance. Nice, Bob.
The Verdance, they call it.
The Verdance. That'll be big in the clubs tonight.
Ball is spotted just short of the first down, so it's third and less than a yard for the Bills. They lead 7-3 in the second quarter. Kinnebrew thunders into the Dolphin defense. He has a first down. And big Larry Kinnebrew, both arms wrapped around that hog, making sure they don't knock it free.
That offensive line is playing with so much confidence. When they can pound out like that and know they got a big old 260, 270 pounder behind them to come firing in there, it really gives the offensive line a lot of confidence.
They say about Kinnebrew, he makes his own interference sometimes, and sometimes it's his offensive lineman he runs through. Turned away, bang.
That'll motivate you if you're the offensive lineman and you're on a block and you know you got a big fella coming behind you. You got to get it out of the way.
And first down, they go to Thurman Thomas, and again with those remarkable change of pace moves. Look at him run inside the 15. He's not done. Inside the 10. One of the best runs of the NFL season by Thurman Thomas, who takes it in 30 yards, broken field for a Buffalo touchdown.
Field 1-2 times. Now he turns on the speed, and all I can say, Don, is woo-wee. Man, that's a run.
That's as good as it gets. Like the Juice a few years ago here in Buffalo, going through a whole defense, and the Bills lead it 14-3.
My great-grandfather Albert had some complicated ideas. Understanding this Einstein's theory of relativity just takes relatives. See, my new Rolls 88 Royale carries 6, plus front-wheel drive and 3800 engine for superb passing. It's perfect for today's nuclear family. You don't have to be an Einstein to figure that out.
Get up to a $1,000 cash bonus on a 1990 88 Royale. See your Rolls dealer today.
This isn't an ad for a car company. This is an ad for Zenith's 35-inch digital television with premium stereo and the incredible experience of Dolby surround sound. When you have a Zenith television like this, you want to hurry home. Zenith. Quality.
I know when... Wouldn't it be great if you were at the series and the manager needed a pinch hitter and remembered you from Little League and it was out of here? And wouldn't it be great if instead of calling, you-know-who brought beer? Really great beer like Keystone, the fresh, cold-filtered beer in a can that tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. And wouldn't it be great if your face was on a cereal box? Introducing Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
NBC sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Coors. Brewery fresh, pure, and natural. It's a true American original. by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. And by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on.
One of the wonders of the world nearby to Buffalo, the beauty and wonder of Niagara Falls. Right now, the Bills' running game has been hitting the Dolphins like an onrushing waterfall, just pouring it on. As Thurman Thomas just turned in one of the great runs of this season, cutting through the Dolphin defense for 30 yards and a touchdown.
Thurman Thomas looking like one of the wonders of the world here so far this game.
He really had a tremendous effort. This is the Jaws section of the Rich Stadium.
Everybody,
vroom, vroom, Jaws music.
Everybody doesn't know it because they're not all doing it.
High kick, very short. Coming up on the ball is Reeves again. He lost it. Picked up by a teammate, but he's quickly cut down at the 23-yard line. Making play for Buffalo was John Hagee, number 22.
Now let's take another look at this touchdown. Thurman Thomas is going to break over here to the right, do a little something over here, break back over here to the right, do a little something here, and break into the end zone. And I can't draw it any better than that. But I tell you what, let's count the tackles. There's 1, 2, 3 guys that miss him.
We got him here for sure.
4 miss him. 5 miss him.
He's got him.
6 miss him. 7 miss him. 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. He ran through the entire team.
They're not going to get him. He did it again on replay. Dan Marino on a called sprint out with a great throw downfield for a first down to the 33-yard line. Marino is in excellent physical shape. His weight's down about 10 pounds, and he's been sprinting out more. As we again look at the 10-minute ticker and the scores of the 1 o'clock games. Bills opening up a 14-3 lead here after the Dolphins took a 3-0 lead on the opening drive, a Stoyanovich field goal.
Well, Bob Costas is going to have a lot of fun explaining that play of Thurman Thomas. If he liked that bird dance, I wonder what he's going to call this one.
I like what you had, the woo-woo.
I like that woo-woo.
First and 10 for the Dolphins at their 33. Clayton, 83 in motion. Second back is Smith, the rookie, and Bruce Smith gets him again. Bruce Smith saying to him, hello, cousin. They're not related, but they're awful close today.
Bruce Smith is just excellent. Here he just sheds the blockers. He's free into the backfield. Davenport tries to block him, but he reaches over the top of Davenport and still tackles Sammy Smith.
Bruce Smith, at his best, is an absolutely unblockable player. The #1 player picked in the draft when he came out of Virginia Tech in 1985 as the Outland Trophy winner. He sets the tone, and on the other side they have the brilliant young player Cornelius Bennett, another awesome pass rusher. Smith breaks it, and he gets a first down. Good change of pace move by 210-pound Sammy Smith, who ran for Coach Bowden and the Seminoles at Florida State. Very well the past 4 years, a 13-yard gain.
And Sammy Smith showing something that they didn't know that he's going to have this kind of resiliency. That was a 13-yard run. Sammy Smith still hitting this hole. There's a great gapping hole right there. Sammy Smith hits it going 100 miles an hour, and he's brought down by Kelso, number 38. The offensive line of the Miami Dolphins doing a fine job on the run.
There's a out pass, and a connection is made to Mark Duper. The hit is quickly put on him by Nate Odoms, but Duper goes high and comes down with the ball. That's his 27th reception of the season, having another big year, averaging 18 yards a catch.
The pressure that this Miami Dolphins offense can put on you is if they can run the ball, and you've got to keep those linebackers up front to try to stop the run, then they have people like Duper and Clayton that can kill you deep. So the trick is you got to stop them from running the ball, therefore your linebackers can be free in that secondary.
And every DB knows what they do. They run those outs, and all of a sudden they turn it upfield for the bomb. Marino goes back to Smith. Nothing there for him. Shooting the gap was Darryl Talley, number 56, the most underrated player on the Bills roster. He grades out as their #1 defensive player, play after play. West Virginia.
When you have so many big-name stars on your defense like Cornelius Bennett and and Bruce Smith and Art Steele that sometimes Tally, you forget about him unless you're playing against him and you know exactly where he is all the time if you're the opposing team.
You sure do, and he's double tough to get to him with a block because Smith is in front of him. He's always double teamed. 3rd down and 6 for Miami. Long ball. He's got a man down there. Duper cannot quite get to it at the 15-yard line. Mickey Sutton, the nickelback, number 20, was running with him stride for stride. Duper did have that extra step on him, and Marino is just a bit long. And the long-range bomber, Reggie Roby, now comes out to punt the ball. And wears a wristwatch when he punts.
I asked him about wearing that wristwatch. You know, punters are a little bit different kind of people. I said, why do you wear that watch? He said, oh, I'd see what time it is.
Check that hang time.
Yeah, why do most people wear watches?
I'll tell you, he unloaded that. Mickey Sutton wants no part of it, and it hops into the end zone for a touchback. And so the Bills will get the ball at their 20, and they will go 1st down and 10 with a 14-3 lead with 6:33 to play in the half.
So we really doing this?
We're gonna have a long time together.
I'm late. I gotta go.
Talk to you later. Over dinner.
When? 8. Be there.
Bye.
This is why Allstate gives a 10% discount for cars with anti-lock brakes. We're the only major insurance company that does. Call Allstate.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Looking for something phantom? Or should I say, Susie?
Why? Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cupper. Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
Reggie Roby, one of the finer punters in the league, you know, before the game, he practices punting with a ball that weighs 3 times the weight of a normal ball. It's called the heavy ball, and he kicks that thing 50, 60 yards.
You know, I saw him yesterday in practice, and I noticed he wasn't kicking it as far as he usually does, but he seemed quite pleased, everybody, and so he probably didn't want to kick it out of the stadium, a regular ball.
He probably had that heavy ball. I tried to catch one of his punts one time. I was down in Miami training camp, and he kicked it up into the clouds, and when it came down, I tried to catch it. It ripped off my ring, my watch, my wrist, everything, just tore everything off my hands.
Yeah, football weighs a lot when it comes down from that height.
Of course, I had my street shoes on. If I had my cleats, I'd have caught it.
And run it back.
That's right.
1st down Bills. They go to the run, and Thurman Thomas is right back at it, breaking into the Miami defense and out to the 30-yard line for a 10-yard gain and a 1st down.
I think we got a holding call, Don. This is the worst thing a running back wants to see, that holding call. After you get your brains beat out, and you look up and you see there was one of them holding calls. But it's tough these days.
Holding. 70 offense. Still 1st down.
That's Joe Devlin on the hold. You know, it's just so tough for these guys to try to block these big defensive linemen. Joe Devlin gets his hands out a little bit too far. You see him on number 56, John Opperdahl, but he buries him after he gets him turned a little bit. And then Opperdahl playing with a little bit of a sore ankle. It's tougher to play on this AstroTurf when you got a bad ankle. You just can't get the traction you need.
There's no question. There's a lot of ankle problems on it. Danny Smith was concerned about it. He likes grass, and Thurman Thomas likes anything as long as he's got the ball. And he drives again across the 10-yard line and out close to the 15. Barry Krause was on the tackle. Played high school ball in Pompano Beach, Florida. Indianapolis extends its lead now to 10-3 over the Patriots. We have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the 1st half here at Rich Stadium. Game moving along quickly. Bills running the ball and taking a 14-3 lead. McKellar got that 21-yarder, goes in motion. He'll lead the blocking now for Thurman Thomas, who dips in, dips out, cuts back. He's across the 20. He's done his races out across the 30-yard line and out to the 33. William Judson knocked him out of bounds finally. Thurman Thomas is the second leading rusher in Big 8 history. Had he not suffered a knee injury, he would have been ahead of Rozier. The leader.
This is excellent running. He takes the ball outside and then turns it up the field, and he's not through yet. He's got that instant acceleration that he's able to stop and then get back going at full speed within 1 or 2 steps. That was an 18-yard gain there with Thurman Thomas. He's got 10 rushes for 92 yards already.
Man, 1 of 30 yards, a work of art for a touchdown. The Bills' second score.
I think he's getting oxygen now on the sideline.
He's out. They go back to Kenneth Davis, and he can run. A former Green Bay Packer who came here as a Plan B free agent. He gets the ball to the 37-yard line. Hugh Green, number 55, got him for the Dolphins.
Hugh Green, the heart and soul of this defense. And Hugh Green, you see him taking on a blocker, just trying to read the play, sheds the blocker, and then makes the tackle on Kenneth Davis. You know, when you're sitting on the sideline and you got a guy in front of you, like Thurman Thomas having a great day, you just can't wait to get in because you think you can do some of the same things that Thurman Thomas is doing. I think I can do it sitting here watching. I know that's not right.
He makes it look easy. Kennebrew on 2nd down and 5 gets ahead for a couple of yards. Offensive line coach for the Bills, Coach Bresnahan. Tom Bresnahan. There he is on the sidelines. It was widely reported here that Bresnahan and another assistant, Nick Nicolau, got in there's Nick on the right, into a slugfest, into the best of friends. We don't know what happened in that tape room when they were watching game films, but it's over and forgotten.
And this is football. I mean, things like that happen a lot of times. I mean, they've blown it way out of proportion. Fights happen all the time in professional football, probably at every level.
Here's Wright, long ball downfield. Beebe trying to run under it. Knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The sprinter, Don Beebe, the Bills' top choice this year. He was picked in the 3rd round. They haven't had number 1 choices the past 2 years, and they didn't have a 1 or a 2 this year because of the Cornelius Bennett trade.
When you have a guy that runs 4.2, you just set him out there and say, run down there as far as you can. And we'll throw it as far as we can and see if we can come up with a... Oh, he ran out of bounds. But, you know, you just take a chance. You got a guy 4.2, let him run. See if we can get a big one.
It was still almost a good catch, even if it was out of bounds.
That's right. That would have been one that he'd been talking about over dinner tonight, even though it didn't count.
Schwade's back in the lineup, and here is a tremendous punt by John Kidd. And Scott Schwade's lets it hop. It takes a Bills roll, and they're going to down the ball inside the 15-yard line. So John Kidd hits a beauty, and instead of hopping into the end zone, that 48-yarder takes a jump back, and the Bills down it. Miami keeps the Bills from scoring this time, but now the Dolphins and Marino have the long field to go.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. He was one of only 19 players to intercept over 50 passes in his career and was considered one of the greatest cornerbacks ever to play the game. A member of the Steel Curtain for 14 years, he played in all 4 Pittsburgh Super Bowl victories. Who was this legend?
Liberty Mutual presents the automobile accident that never happened, because we continually work to prevent auto accidents and injuries. In helping to pioneer safety belts, Liberty Mutual Insurance helped make driving safer for everyone. Caring for people is why America believes in liberty.
Almost home. America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Mel Blount was the prototype cornerback whose play earned him a spot in the Hall of Fame in 1989. A true legend of the game.
I like catching a ride. The fire in your eyes. Heading upstream. Girl of my dreams. and cold Coors beer. It takes a part of this country as cold and clean as the Rockies to brew a beer as pure and natural as Coors. Brew refresh, just like you like it. Tap an ice cold Coors with a friend of yours. A Rocky Mountain legend, an American original.
Sunday Silence, 1989 Kentucky Derby and Preakness champion. Easy Goer. His victory at the Belmont spoiled Sunday Silence's bid for the coveted Triple Crown. Now they meet again in a race that will determine Horse of the Year. The Breeders' Cup, next Saturday on NBC.
It's America's Day at the Races, the Breeders' Cup, coming up next Saturday on NBC Sports at 1:30 Eastern Time. With the great racehorse, Easy Goer, to run again against Sunday Silence. 7 races, $10 million in prize money from beautiful Gulfstream in Allendale, Florida. There's a sack of Dan Marino. They get him, and the streak ends. Jeff Wright was almost a safety, as Dan Marino is sacked for the first time in 20 games. Jeff Wright, a second-year nose tackle, who the Bills think is going to be a star eventually, drafted in the 8th round from Central Missouri.
Jeff Wright, number 91, just powers over the middle. Marino holding the ball a little bit long, can't find anybody open. Jeff Wright does something that no one has been able to do in 19 games. And I talked to Roy Foster, one of the guys on the offensive line of Miami. He said the pressure was nobody wanted to be their guy that made the sack. But once they get it over with, they can relax and go on and play now.
Well, whether they got help from on high, we don't know, but Jeff Wright was there. The last time he was sacked prior to this was back in September of 1988. Dwayne Bickett of the Indianapolis Colts was the first to get him with O'Brien Alston. And now Jeff Wright, in the 20th game since then, gets him as a Dolphin in repose there.
He has a reason to celebrate because he sacked him, but let's be realistic. Dan Marino here been sacked 2 times in 20 games. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Even more impressive amount is the fact that's the first sack of Dan Marino in almost 800 passes.
And that's,
over 770 passes between sacks, pass attempts.
And that's as far as you can take it, Don. It's a nice thing to get your line fired up to try to get him once, but get him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think what you were saying earlier about that hurry, he's a little bit more cautious just dumping it off with those very quick Bill linebackers back in zone coverage. He eluded a sack earlier, but he threw the ball to Cornelius Bennett, and the Bills turned it subsequently into a touchdown. 14-3, the Bills lead the Dolphins, and now Dan Marino and the Miami team up against it, positioned at their 1-yard line. Marino, living dangerously, fires it out, and Smith has the ball. And Sammy Smith is out across the 10-yard line and very close to a first down. Dan Marino hit hard. Bruce Smith got to him.
Looked like Dan came down on his wrist. A lot of times you got those guys that weigh 260 pounds coming down on you. You got to watch the way you fall. There's Bruce Smith coming in. Can't hold off, and he tries to hold him up a little bit. He's trying to hold on to him, trying to let him fall on top of him, and Dan gets his wrist caught a little bit underneath.
Bruce Smith is absolutely unbelievable.
And a class act.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. Well, when he puts that helmet on, though, man, you're looking at a potential Hall of Famer here. Here he comes again. Marino again gets it away, though. And the Bills make the stop. Correctly, it was not a first down the previous throw because of the sack, and that was short of the first down also, so Miami will hit the punt from deep in their own end as Darryl Talley comes up big for Buffalo and Coach Marv Levy.
Don't be fooled by commercials where one battery company's toy outlasts the others. The fact is, Energizer was never invited to their playoffs because nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
Stop the bunny, please.
And going and go.
I love the sound of the rain.
And I love the taste of your fresh brewed coffee.
Oh, thanks, but it's not fresh brewed. It's new Tray Coffee.
Like we said, nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going.
Daddy, smell my flowers.
Oh, my sinuses. When sinus trouble strikes, reach for Nasatine. Only Nasatine has fast-acting mucinol. Watch as nasal...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going.
Looking for something phantom? Or should I say, Susie?
Why?
Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cuffer. Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
The Colts. The Dolphins. Great legs. And a deadly arm. Then he runs. And he throws. Elway and the Broncos battle the Steelers. An NBC football doubleheader next Sunday.
Reggie Roby ready to punt now at Rich Stadium, where the Bills lead the Dolphins 14-3. Roby hits it very well downfield in this warm, sunny day in western New York. And here comes Mickey Sutton running it back across the 30. Good special teams coverage by the Dolphins, but the Bills will have relatively good field position as they are now set to go. 1st and 10 from outside their 35. Houston extends its lead over the Browns to 10-0 at Cleveland.
Taking that house of pain on the road, aren't they?
They are. After they beat the Bears at Chicago, Houston's going to be a force the rest of the way. Detroit with a 10-3 lead over the Packers at Green Bay. Bills with 1:48 to play in the first half, holding to a 14-3 lead. Reich sets up as they go to a 2-minute offense. 1st down and 10. Long ball. He's got Beebe out there. Beebe makes the catch. The fastest Bill is going to go the distance. He's in for a touchdown. $63 yards.
When you have 4.29 speed, like I said earlier, just throw it up there. You never know. Something good might happen. Just like this. Watch Beebe accelerate away once he catches that ball. There's nobody going to catch him. Beebe in there for the TD.
That's it. Boy, I'll tell you that. I guess he's legit with that under 4.3 speed.
That's right. You never believe that till you see it.
From Chandran State. Not many guys can say that. They're from Chandran State. He's played high school ball outside Chicago. Very strong, small player.
Just a foot race. Once he gets by the bump here, it's all over with. And you got to give Frank Reich credit. This ball's right on the money, and he threw it so that Beebe could accelerate into the ball. Beebe, yeah, he'll remember this. This is one he can talk about over dinner tonight and be very happy about.
Forget that try out of bounds.
That's right. He said, you know, I almost had 2 today, but I got that 1.
He helped beat the Oilers at the Astrodome with a similar play. I think it was over 70 yards from Jim Kelly. That's his second TD throw and another on-the-mark strike by Frank Reich. His quarterback rating is almost 100. It's probably over 100 with his performance today so far. It was 98 coming in. He's been that good.
And he is so accurate. He's been so accurate today. His ball's right on the money.
And what does this do now, Ahmad, to the Miami Dolphins game plan? It looks like Marino's going to have to just start firing every down.
I think they're used to that. They've had that happen to them so many times. They get behind. They go back to what they do best, and that's throw the ball. And I'm sure that that's what Shula's saying right now. Trying to keep the guys calm, because at this point you don't want to panic. But with 1:39 left to go in the half, I think that Marino may work this clock as good as anybody in the league.
Dolphins drove the ball downfield after the opening kickoff and then hit on a 45-yard Pete Stoyanovich field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Since then, Buffalo's offense has come on like a deluge, building up a 21-3 lead. Scott Norwood is set to kick it off again as Good and Reeves are back again for Miami. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Our producer today is Terry Ewert. Our director, Ted Nathanson. We have 1:39 to play in the first half at Rich Stadium. Sold out again. Over 80,000 as the Bills en route to leading the National Football League in attendance again. At halftime, we'll be going to Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson at NFL Live with scores and highlights and a profile of the beleaguered Jet coach Joe Walton, who's under the gun. Fumble ball. Gary Good picks it up, and he's downed at the 20-yard line. Mickey Sutton, number 20, got to him. So the Bills cover well on special teams, and again, Marino has a long way to take his offense and not much time to do it. 1:37 to play in the first half.
It's amazing how star players set the tone.
Buffalo with an overwhelming margin on the scoreboard and in total offense amount.
Buffalo 222 yards, Miami 103.
Personal foul, low block, number 38 on the return. First down.
But the big numbers are on that scoreboard. Bills 21, the Fish 3.
Signs all over to squish the Fish. Willard Reeves, the new Dolphin, because of the injuries to some of their runners. Mark Logan is out. Troy Stratford's out for the season. Hugh Green wants something good to happen here.
Hugh Green trying to get his troops fired up. They're still in a game like this. They've got instant scoring power.
That's one thing. The Dolphins are never out of the game with a player like Marino. Marco's down, and Marino almost is, and now he says to Cornelius Bennett, the whistle blew, friend. We come in peace.
The offensive line was moving up and down like a typewriter that time.
Ball start, 61 offense. First down.
Don Shula doesn't like those kinds of mistakes. See Roy Foster backing up a little bit, number 61. They're backing up a little bit before the snap of the ball. Sets them back a little bit, but this shouldn't bother them. It's a 5-yard penalty. They got 95 yards to go, so as opposed to 90.
Marino in the end zone. Here comes the rush. Marino with a lightning throw and a connection out to the 20-yard line. Very close to a first down. They'll be just short of it. 1:23 to play in the first half. 15-yard gain on the play. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad at Rich Stadium. Bills 21, Dolphins 3. Miami's Dan Marino, who saw his consecutive games without a sack end today when Jeff Wright got him a short time ago. Red Banks makes the reception, and the clock is stopped with 1:03 to play. Miami calling a timeout.
Leonard Smith there, the Warriors slinging him down.
63 ticks left in the half. We'll be back in a moment.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime. And we think you should make the best of it. The Braun Shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
It's 8:47, and Andy Cabana's father is learning all about his antifreeze the hard way.
Come on, Dad, where are you?
Don't push your luck. Guarantee it with Advanced Formula Prestone.
1:03 left to play in the first half. Dan Marino dropping back to his 30. Quick throw with that lightning strike again on the in pattern. The ball is out to the 35-yard line. But the Bills in that deep zone will give that to Miami all day with little time and a long way to go.
The thing is about that, Marino will throw a couple of them over the middle, and next thing you know, he'll throw one down the field.
Incomplete pass stops the clock with 42 seconds to play.
I mentioned earlier about that heavy ball that weighs 3 times the weight of a normal ball. And Marino also uses that ball to warm up. So I'm sure that once he gets out there and throwing the ball that's the regular weight, that he can really whip that baby.
He passes with the extra.
Yeah, he warms up with it. He warms up throwing that ball real easy just to get his arm loosened up and strengthened.
We know it's strong. Gill's corners come up tight, bump and run coverage. Here's another throw and a catch to Mark Clayton out to the 45-yard line with 36 seconds to play in the half. An 11-yard gain, but the clock is running. And the Bills are in the lead 21-3.
Don, a lot of times the reason you throw that ball over the middle, because you break one tackle, you're off to the races. That's where you get the big plays, over the middle.
Looked like a good play. Fred Banks on his knees makes the reception at the Bills' 46-yard line. And now Miami takes another timeout with 16 seconds to play.
Number 3.
Bills protecting against the long ball, but Ahmad, they're getting that intermediate range stuff downfield. They could be in position at least for a field goal.
Yeah, the trick is you just want to stay calm. You know, you don't want to. A lot of times guys are thinking, well, throw the ball to the sideline, get the ball and get out of bounds. But if you can throw the ball in the middle and just take up big chunks of yardage, the next thing you know, you're down in field goal range. And I think that's what Miami's trying to do. They want to get some points. And a lot of times when you throw the ball and you get it right by the sideline and you run out of bounds 3 times, the next thing you got to do is punt. But in this situation with Marino, you got to master at it, throw the ball over the middle, eat up a bunch of yards, and at least try to get 3 points out of the thing.
Marino's numbers looking impressive, 13-17, but that one critical throw he made that was intercepted by Cornelius Bennett was quickly turned into a touchdown, and really Reich, who's passed a limited number of times for the Bills, has hit the big throw. He hit a 63-yarder. Don Beebe for a touchdown to extend the Buffalo lead to 21-7. Second and short. Marino takes a look deep. Downfield throw. It's too high for Mark Clayton with John Hagee covering. Bruce Smith is getting there just as he releases the ball.
You know, they've had a chance to discuss a lot of things today. When they were standing on the sideline this morning before the game talking, I'm sure Marino thought that he wasn't going to see him that much during the course of the day. It's like, yeah, I like you, but man, give me a break. Watch Marino. As soon as he lets his ball go, Bruce Smith is right there on him. And Bruce is just letting him down easy if you can do that at 260 pounds.
He really is. He's showing some kindness when the ball's away. What was that you were saying about Bruce Smith? He lines up all over the field on different players.
And, you know, yeah, the thing is where the pressure is, they like to put Bruce Smith on the weakest lineman. So when you look up and see him, you know what they think about you.
They got a couple guys on him now. Here's a long ball. Men are open, but so are now the Bills recover. And it's tipped away in the end zone with 4 seconds to play. Andre Brown went high. Mark Kelso and Nate Odoms both were there to block it away. There's the free safety, Mark Kelso.
This is a play on this ball. I just think that there's a chance for this ball to be caught. You got 3 Miami Dolphins around, but anytime you throw it up in the air like that, everybody panics and gets tight. You got to stay loose and go up there and really try to catch the ball. Odoms made a pretty nice play knocking it away. Comes over the top, number 37, knocks the ball away.
So now the Dolphins on what will probably be the last play of the half for Coach Shula's team. Set up, 4th down and 2. 4 seconds to go. Marino looking for the end zone, shuffles it downfield. He gets it to Crash Jensen, and he takes on tacklers, and that will conclude the first half play. As again, Bruce Smith was a moment away from sacking Dan Marino. I don't know if Bruce Smith has ever played a better half, and he plays a lot of great ones.
The great players rise to the occasion, and that's what Bruce is doing.
It's 21-3 at halftime. Buffalo. Now let's go to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?